My name is Larry Spencer. I'm the Vice President of the United Mine Workers in District 20. And last week, on the 21st and 22nd, we interviewed candidates for governor. And what we was looking for was a governor that would work for the working people. And we feel like we have found that person in Tim James. So last week, the United Mine Workers of America, District 20, endorsed Tim James for governor.
Larry, thank you. How you doing?
Good.
I'm making sure you're not snoozing on me. How y'all doing?
Fine, sir.
Good to see you. Good to see y'all. All right. Wow, great. Wow. John L. Lewis. Y'all know he was a Republican. The founder of United Coal Miners, I tell you. It is so good to be here. Larry, I want to thank y'all and the District 20 Coal Miners, political action for this endorsement. I love it. You know, American energy is a fundamental economic and strategic foundation of this country. We need to always be grateful to the people who help us pull the natural resources from the ground. Now, you're not going to get me in a tube that goes down 2,000 feet. I can't do it. I can't. I don't even like elevators. That's why I will always be supportive of our miners and energy workers who have the knowledge and the skill to reach that goal. I love this culture, the mining culture, generation after generation of men and women who do this work, and we've got to protect it any way that we can. I've been concerned about this strike. Been going on for over a year. They tell me, I think it's the oldest one in Alabama ever. Is that right? It's affecting about 900 miners and their families, and it continues to be unnecessarily hurt families in this state. Look, I believe in free enterprise. I believe in fair collective bargaining. But the owner of this mine, Warrior Met Coal, and their principal partner, BlackRock, the largest private equity company in the world, obviously do not share my belief in fairness. Their website says, we want to provide for our employees with a highly attractive compensation. Yet their tactics tell a different story. They're requiring, and I'm telling y'all, when people hear this, steam's going to come out of their ears. It's so wrong. They're requiring that Alabama miners agree to be terminated if they miss 4 work days for any reason. Any reason, that's right. If you get COVID, pneumonia, you're out of work, for 4 days they want to fire you. At the same time, they are making record profits. Now, I've got no problem with profits. I like profits. That's what it's about. But fairness is in order. This is unadulterated greed and corporate bullying on a scale that I have never seen in my life. About 900, think about how many families that is. 900 families are hurting, out of work, because they will not acquiesce to Warrior Met and BlackRock's unfair and offensive demands. I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. Union or no union. It's inexcusable. This strike needs to end now. and the Alabama miners must go back to work. That's all I'm going to say on that today. But if it doesn't get better, there'll be another day to talk about this. We all know one of the greatest challenges to our prosperity today is the price of energy. We feel it at the pump and when we pay our electric bills, not because of energy shortages and because of our workers, but because of government. You know, the radical left are waging a war on coal, oil, and natural gas. Then when these disruptions happen, the same people try to convince us that higher gas prices and fuel prices are good for the environment. I think they want us to drive less. Maybe they want us to get a horse. Maybe we're supposed to get you a quarter horse. I don't know what they want. I don't even understand these people. Get a mule, big old ears. So while the price of gas is going up, our governor has made no effort, none, to stop her forever increasing gas tax, crushing working families with his new expenses and no end in sight. That's what happens when a governor is more interested in growing government than protecting our people. Think about it. The Alabama legislative session ended on April the 8th. We had $1.5 billion with a B, cash, surplus. But instead of returning that money to the people who put it there, Kay Ivey opted to give millions and millions to the special interests and the quasi-government agencies. You see, she did exactly what politicians do. Cut deals, made herself look good, handing this money out. It's the craziest thing you ever saw. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, handing it out like Santa Claus or Ms. Claus. Not Santa, that's Ms. Claus. It's your money. The difference is, at least with Santa and Ms. Claus, the elves did the work, not the people of this state, and they just do this, and they have no regard for working families. The amount of money that is being wasted for things that don't matter is off the charts. Did you know there is a mental health crisis in Alabama? Did you know there's a fentanyl crisis in Alabama? Did you know that one of the main human traffic lines in this country is I-20 right through Birmingham? Maybe we need to take some of this money and put it in that category instead of passing it out. So back at the farm in Montgomery, on top of the hill, Dexter, no cuts for gas taxes, no cuts to grocery taxes, no cuts to occupational taxes, and when the legislative session was over, and this is my favorite, Kay Ivey said her biggest regret was that gambling failed. She wanted to put 10 Vegas-style casinos in Alabama, and then said it was her greatest regret that it didn't get done. And I'm thinking about that. Maybe her greatest regret should have been the fact that we're 50th in reading and math in the United States. And then it gets even better. So I'm thinking about, so the governor basically publicly said her greatest regret is she didn't get her 10 casinos. It's not that she thinks it. Who would say such a thing? That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. You know, I get it's like saying, you know, admitting I'm going to rob a bank, but I'm going to regret I didn't get it done. It's the same difference. These people, they're not too smart these days. Her record on schools is bad. According to the reports, our schools have fallen to, we're in the bottom 25th percentile in reading. Parents, you should be livid. But here's what Kay has done for our kids. She let mask mandates stay in place even after almost every state in the country lifted theirs, putting our kids farther behind in phonics, in reading, let alone the emotional drag of wearing a mask when they know in their spirit it's not right. She took no action on school choice. No action on the Marxist tools that are in our face, the critical race theory, the silly Common Core. This stuff is a failing story. It doesn't work. Done nothing. And no action to stop the radical LGBTQ plus agenda. Now, I have a question. How many of you folks know what the plus is? Because I do not. It's at the end. Anybody have an idea? I'm glad you don't. That's a good sign. Good. I don't know either, and I'm not going to look it up. But this agenda, she pushed it forward. She signed off on a $2 million state funding for the first LGBTQ+, the first transgender public school in the South. Right here in Birmingham, they call it the Magic City School. And they declare themselves as LGBTQ affirming. To affirm means to confirm that something is true. This is not true. This is a lie. This is in direct conflict and in opposition to the character and the nature of God, and we're not going to tolerate it in this state. You can go right here at Homewood, pull up, look at it. They fly the LGBTQ flag, the transgender flag is flying on the flag post at the school attached to the American flag. I'd take it down today. You know, they sold this school as a safe space, a safe for children struggling with this. But several weeks ago, the principal and the faculty took this so-called safe space and put on a drag queen show for these children on campus. And then arrogance, pride, that's their word. Their pride got away with them, their arrogance. And then they posted the photos of the teacher and faculty drag show on their public Facebook page for the whole world to see. And that's why we know about it. This principal, this guy's a doozy. He must have an obsession with drag queens. He himself is posing multiple photos in drag at the school. Hard to believe. This school has nothing to do with education. It is exploitation of children. At a minimum, it is emotional child abuse of sixth graders, and this must be shut down tomorrow. Then, and that ain't all, then this principal said their drag queen show, it was just for fun. It's no different than a high school pep rally where football players might dress up like cheerleaders or cheerleaders put on the football uniform at a pep rally before a homecoming queen. And I read that and I thought to myself, is this dude for real? And then I thought to myself, I don't know if it's a dude or a dudette. I'm just asking. This person is comparing a teacher-led drag show on campus in front of sixth graders to a high school homecoming skit. This principal must be fired, and this Magic City school must be shut down now. I am calling on the Alabama Charter School Commission to revoke their charter today. If they do not, the governor must use her executive powers and shut it down for two simple reasons. Number one is fraud. They sold it as a safe haven. We know it's not. And the second is we're just not going to put up with this kind of stuff in Alabama schools anymore. Kay Ivey owns this one. The buck stops with the governor. The governor is the backstop. The governor is the firewall. If the governor doesn't stop this stuff, who will? I've been curious. I've been interested to see the governor's reply. They seem to be unwilling to comment on this school. The press corps out there, you've been extremely aggressive with me and wanted to ask me these questions. Where am I coming from? Why haven't you asked the governor one very simple question? Why did you sign legislation that appropriated $2 million for the Magic City Acceptance Academy? Question. The only thing this governor's record shows is Governor Ivey is overwhelmed in this job. She is overwhelmed by the special interest in Montgomery, and it's obvious. It is time for a change. We need a governor who will put the people of Alabama first. On taxes, I will repeal Kay Ivey's gas tax and eliminate this grocery tax, where when you buy food, essential groceries, now that includes chicken, fish, milk, crackers, steak, cereal. It does not include Budweiser, Miller Lite. You get the picture? Everybody got it? You got to pay tax on that, sorry. But that's just to start. Long term, I will undertake the first comprehensive tax review in over 20 years to determine the most strategic and effective way to lower taxes on Alabama citizens. On the lobbyist, the special interest, I will end the earmarked spending on Alabama's budget. And I will appoint teams of forensic specialists to review the budget line items on every contract. The days of pork barrel spending for lobbyists and special interests are fast coming to an end. On the crazy federal mandates, I won't tolerate them. And the state health officer, this whole thing has gotten way far out of balance. That needs to be, the state officer needs to be a cabinet level position, so we will never again be in a position where Alabama will endorse a Fauci state. I'll respect parental rights in the classrooms. We'll eliminate Common Core, critical race theory. All this stuff is Marxism. That's all it is. There's nothing new under the sun. And I will fight to put prayer back in our schools. And I will stop any teaching of transgenderism or the LGBTQ agenda once and for all. And I will replace that agenda with what we call the PPRRR agenda, or the double P triple R. That stands for prayer, parents, reading, writing, and arithmetic. You gotta be 60 years old and higher to get that, right? But I don't have a yellow school bus. There's a culture war in America between common sense and crazy, between Marxism and our Constitution. The reason I run for governor is because I have children. I have grandchildren. And I look at this country and I know that it's time to really fight back. And I'm not kidding. And that's just not words on a brochure. I mean it. Some governors are fighting to protect their states. Kay Ivey has been asleep at the wheel. As governor, I will protect our children from this crazy. I will protect our businesses from Marxism and from big woke corporations that try to hold our workers hostage. And I will break the special interests who are leading Alabama by the nose for profit and power. Alabama will lead the nation because Alabama will not go the way of the world and will stand for truth. By God's grace, as I stand before you today, I will lead to the best of my ability. I will protect our people. I will protect our children of this great state with every ounce of strength I have in my body. Thank you, and God bless you. One final thought. In this race, there's 6,000 operating miners in Alabama. They tell me you got about 3,000 or so retired. If you get this 9,000 miners that are here today and their families, and deliver 10 votes per worker, you needn't worry about a runoff because we'll win it without a runoff. Yeah. Woo! Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.